Apparently, I'm the family disappointment. And it's not because of anything dramatic. Trust me, I've had plenty of those. It's because of this. I'm 26, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I play video games. Recently, someone close to me asked me a question. Not a stranger, someone whose opinion matters to me. And they asked very politely, "But what do you actually learn from these games?" I said, "Nothing except how to play the game." And they nodded politely, and that was somehow worse than argument, because behind the politeness there was a quiet, settled thing, not hostility, just a complete lack of understanding. Like I'd confirmed something they already believed about me, and I've been thinking about that moment ever since. I'm not learning anything. Here's the thing. When I said nothing, I meant I'm not playing Zelda to learn survival skills. I'm not playing Hogwarts Legacy to improve my Latin. I'm playing because it's fun, because the world is beautiful, because I want to see what's behind that mountain. That's it. But the thing that bothered me, the question wasn't the question itself. It was the assumption underneath it. The idea that if I'm spending 3 hours on something, that something has to teach me or build me or improve me. Otherwise, why am I doing it? And there's what I couldn't stop thinking about. We don't ask this about anything else. Nobody walks up to someone watching Netflix and says, "But what are you actually learning from that movie?" Nobody asks a person reading a novel, "Okay, but how is it going to help you in life?" We've just collectively decided that some forms of rest are okay and some are suspicious. Why? I want to talk about story-driven games, not just basic mobile games. Games are basically the same thing as movies or TV shows. You're following a story, you're in the world, you care about characters. The only difference is that you're also part of it. You're making decisions, you're exploring, and somehow that extra layers is what makes people uncomfortable. Also, for the record, I do get something out of it. Not a skill, not a resume line, but I know games now. I know what good game design feels like. I know what makes a story hook you. And I sit down with another person who plays, and we can talk about it for an hour. That's a community, that's a shared language, and that's more than I can say about most of the YouTube I watch. I know what escape looks like. Now I want to be honest here. I'm not trying to paint video games as this productive, super healthy habit that everyone should have. I actually get why people are suspicious of them, because I've seen the dark side. I know what it looks like when you're not playing for fun, but because you're hiding. A few years back, I went through a really heavy period. Life was just a lot, and instead of dealing with it, I disappeared into Teyvat. I played Genshin Impact for hours and hours every single day. I wasn't learning anything then. I wasn't enjoying the art. I was just numbing myself. And that's why I can see the difference now. There's a huge gap between mindless games, especially mobile ones that are designed to just keep you clicking for a dopamine hit, and long-form games like Zelda, Horizon, The Witcher, or Hogwarts Legacy. For me, mobile games are like infinite scrolling on TikTok. You do it because you are bored and you feel kind of empty afterward. But a big immersive game, that's different. It's like a 60-hour interactive movie. When I play Hogwarts Legacy now, I'm not running away from my life. I'm just visiting another one for a while. There is a clear line where a hobby starts to interfere with your work or your family. I've crossed that line before, so I know exactly where it is. And right now, I'm nowhere near it. Useful hobbies only, please. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I actually think there are two kinds of hobbies. There are hobbies where you make something. You grow a plant, you knit sweater, you bake bread. There is a result at the end. Something you can hold or show or give to someone. And I love those hobbies, genuinely. My plants came with me from Georgia. My crocheting is something I do with real care. These things have value, and I'm not trying to argue otherwise. And then there are hobbies where you consume something. You watch a series, you read a book, you play a game, you're taking something in. But here's what I've noticed. We don't actually treat those two categories equally. Because if I tell someone I spent 3 hours reading or watching a show, that's fine. That's acceptable. But if I say I spent 3 hours in Zelda, suddenly there are questions. And it's not even about making versus consuming. Because I won't talk about my plans for an hour with someone who also grows them. And I can talk about Zelda for an hour with someone who also plays it. Both are real communities. Both are shared languages. The only difference is which one looks right to certain people. I think that's actually happening is similar and a little more uncomfortable. Some hobbies look more productive. They fit a picture. Plants make home feel alive. Crocheting looks creative and calm. And games look like something you're supposed to grow out of. Even if the person holding the controller is 26, a mom, and has her life very much together. So, how do I actually find time for this? Mostly it happens in the gaps of the day, when Jan is at daycare or when he is finally asleep for the night. That's when I usually take out of my Switch. I'm actually quite strict about screens when it comes to my son. We try to avoid them altogether because he's still too little. And I want him to focus on other things, like his books, his toys, just exploring the world. It's not a shared activity, it's strictly my personal time. I've had a few days recently where I didn't play at all because life was just too busy. And that's fine, but when I do have that hour to myself, I choose to spend it in a game instead of just scrolling through my phone. For me, it's about having something that has nothing to do with the house, the chores, or being a parent. It's just a hobby that makes me feel like I'm a person with my own interests. It's my way to recharging. And I think having that space for myself actually makes me more present when I'm back to being a mom. Not everything needs to be useful. Honestly, the reason I felt like I had to record this is that I couldn't just let it go. After that conversation, I spent a long time on the phone with Ilya, my husband, just trying to process it. My emotions were all over the place. I was frustrated, I felt defensive, and underneath of that there was something that took me a while to name. It wasn't anger, it was this exhaustion, this tired feeling of I'm still explaining myself. I'm still justifying who I am to people who love me. That one small question, what do you actually learn from this, turned out to be about something much bigger. It made me realize how much pressure we put on ourselves to always be productive, to always be building towards something. The truth is, I'm not playing Zelda or Hogwarts Legacy to gain a new skill or become a bigger version of myself. I'm playing because I'm interested in the story, because I like the challenge. I like the games. And that has to be enough. You have the right to your hobbies, whether their result is something useful, something pretty, or just a few hours where you are genuinely engaged in something for yourself. It's not about escaping reality, it's about keeping your personality alive outside of your daily chores and responsibilities. So, if you're a mom or just someone who feels like their interest isn't serious enough, this is your reminder. You don't need to apologize for it. Not everything in your life needs to be justified by its utility. Sometimes just being into the process is the whole point. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. Let me know in the comment if you ever felt that pressure to only have useful hobbies. I'd like to talk about it. Thanks for watching. Love ya. Bye.